Thanks to all of you for coming this afternoon. 9 years and 10 days ago, Justice Jefferson walked into the conference room, his appointment as chief just having been announced by the governor, and it was my privilege to swear him in. We celebrated for about a minute and a half, and then went straight to work. We have been fortunate to have had his leadership for all of those years. And now as he departs our family, we wish him the best. Thanks to all of you for coming. There'll be a formal investiture later in the fall when we can schedule it, but we wanted to have this for the court family this afternoon, our friends from the Third Court of Appeals and others, and thanks to all of you for coming. I've asked Justice Green, the new senior justice, to say whatever he wants this afternoon.
Thank you. It's weird being the senior. I guess it's because we have the hair for it. It's a great privilege for me to be a part of this as well. Of course, the Chief Justice is a very close friend of mine, has been for a long time. I've got it calculated at 4,554 days, and that includes the first day and this day and leap days. So I think he's been there quite a long time, and about 3,300 days, give or take, as Chief Justice, and that's quite a long service in that role too. Obviously, the Chief Justice has brought honor to the court, to the state, and to himself with many things that he's accomplished during the terms that he's been the Chief Justice, and before that a justice on this court. The national recognition, the leadership roles that he's undertaken and been asked to undertake, has performed so well. The associations that he's made around the country that have had certainly benefited himself and the court in terms of the reputation that he has brought to himself and us. So there are many other accomplishments, and of course there's going to be an expanded version of this as he's sworn out in a few weeks. But certainly access to justice, the funding of that, which is working with the legislature, that has been so important, and he's been very much able to get that. The Children's Commission, which has affected the lives of so many children and continues to go forth and be very successful. So many things that we could talk about, but I just want to say on behalf of the court chief, we're sorry that you're leaving. You will always be in our hearts. You're always welcome here, and we ask that God bless you in your future endeavors.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Nathan, and to all of my colleagues and former colleagues. Chief Justice Phillips, where did you go? Chief Justice Phillips. In the 1980s, the court was held in much disrepute around the country, and then came a young Tom Phillips and said, we need to reform this court and this institution so that we can be proud of an impartial judiciary. And he spent nearly 17 years accomplishing that goal with many different colleagues. And he brought the court to where it is today, respected around the country, not only in terms of its integrity, but its scholarship, and its ability to effect legislation and other judicial policy. So I owe much to Tom Phillips, and I wanted to give him a round of applause. I want to thank Governor Perry. When he appointed me in 2001 to replace Al Gonzalez, we didn't know each other. I had not been involved in his campaigns or very much in politics, really. But someone gave him my name, and I came up to Austin to speak with him. And we had a long conversation about what he wanted from me and from the court. And that was, he wanted a sterling reputation maintained. He wanted a fair application of the laws. And he asked me to serve. And he took a big risk, I think, in 2001. But I owe him very, very greatly for that appointment because it's changed my life. It's been just a tremendous thrill to be part of the development of the law in this state and to some extent in this country when people rely on our decisions. So Governor Perry, I want to thank him for the initial appointment and then for the honor of serving as Chief Justice for nearly 10 years. That has opened doors that I never would have imagined. I can say today that, and this is a proud moment for me, Sandra Day O'Connor is a good friend of mine. You know, well, that's amazing. You know, the people that I've met and been able to work with, both on the federal bench and on the state bench, has just been fantastic. And I've learned so much from each of them. I've learned from my colleagues. And I think the last number I counted was 21 colleagues that I've served with on the court. Some are now practicing. Judge Baker has passed, of course. But they taught me so much. What people don't understand, and there are many law clerks here, you do, staff attorneys, court family, you understand this. But the public generally doesn't know that it is a very collaborative body. We have strong opinions, we disagree, but we work them out. There is no, Supreme Court shutdown. We find a way. We find a way to work them out, and then give them to the public. And we hope in a way that is clear and that provides direction and that is fair to the people of Texas. My colleagues have been tremendous, and I want to thank each and every one of you for the privilege of serving with you. Finally, let me thank the law clerks with whom I've served. I've got two extraordinary ones today who are sitting right here. I want to thank my staff attorney, Rachel Eckery. This is the other thing people don't understand about the court. If you think I've written brilliant opinions, Rachel Eckery, that's the reason I've written brilliant opinions in addition to my colleagues. If the opinions have been, so-so, those are the ones that she couldn't convince me to change. Rachel has been just extraordinary as a staff attorney, and the people of Texas should really thank her for her service, and all the law clerks and all the staff attorneys who are out here today. The court family from Blanca, who's one of the longest serving, Jan, I don't know if you're here, Nadine against the wall, Mary and Adelina. I'm going to miss people I know, Blake. Anyway, the court family, it's really a family, and they watch out for us and try to make sure that we have the tools that we need to get the job done, and that's from everyone on the ground floor all the way up to the fourth floor. And an extension of that would be working with the Office of Court Administration, just an amazing institution, and David Slayton is leading that so very well. Okay, now finally, I want to thank my wife, Rhonda. There are two big times, I would say, in our lives that a decision had to be made. 2 times before this one. One was right after I proposed. Right after that, 3 of us at my law firm decided to leave and try it out on our own. Okay, with no real understanding whether it was going to work out or not. She said, "You should do it because you'll make it work, and I'll be behind you." And then when the governor appointed me or offered me the position, she said, "What an extraordinary opportunity. You should take it, and I'll be behind you." Well, now we come to the next chapter, and that is leaving a job that I absolutely love. Why would you do that? It's time to move on. I think the timing was right, and she said, You can do this, and I'll be behind you. And, you know I can now because of her. So thank you, Ron. Even though I'm not sure the voters quite understood, they've elected me these in 3 different elections because they typically vote straight ticket. I want to thank all of the people who've given me millions of votes over the years and for their faith in me and returning me to the office. This is a great day. This is a wonderful day because the governor has made an inspired choice, and that is to appoint Nathan Hecht as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Nathan has served since January 1, 1989. He has been the leader in this court in terms of our development of the rules of procedure, and I see several of our former rules attorneys out there. His scholarship and his writing is second to none. You talk about a national reputation. Nathan Hecht has a national reputation as a person with a huge intellect and great scholarship in the law. It is a lot of fun working with Nathan Hecht simply because he is so brilliant at what he does, and his work ethic is so impressive. But the thing that I'm, Justice Green mentioned access to justice as part of my legacy. I want to say one reason it's intact is because Nathan agreed to serve as liaison to the Access to Justice Commission. It was a controversial appointment. I asked him to serve. He said, yes, if this is what you need, I believe in it, I'll do it. And for the next several weeks, I received letters about how can you have someone like Nathan Hecht? He's conservative. He's not going to view this with the passion that it needs. Well, I knew different, and my colleagues knew differently than that. He took it on and elevated to a point of no return, but I think importantly, to a place where you can't say this is a liberal initiative or conservative. Politics has nothing to do with our obligation as citizens to make sure that people can vindicate their rights in court. And he has sounded that bell here in Texas, and he's gone across the country to Washington, D.C. and Congress, and to various states that invite him to say, how can we strengthen our program? That is a legacy already that he has brought to the bench as Chief Justice, and I can't wait to see where he takes it from here. I think if there's anything we could do for Nathan, it would be to pledge ourselves to that cause. And if he calls us, we need to show up and do what we can, because if we do it, then people in this state are going to have the rights that they deserve. They shouldn't be denied them because they can't afford a lawyer. So let's pledge today, as I swear in our next Chief Justice, that we will help him in any way we can. Justice Hecht, would you please come up for the swearing of the oath? My colleagues, if you'll come up and just stand in front of the bench as I do this. Yeah, everyone always tries to get in seniority order. For this event, we're gonna let that fly. Are you ready to?
I am.
You put your hand on the Bible. I'm going to read if you don't mind. I, Nathan Lincoln Hecht,
I, Nathan Lincoln Hecht,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office
of the office
of Chief Justice
of Chief Justice
of the Supreme Court
of the Supreme Court
of the State of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God. much. Thank all of you for coming. Thanks to Chief Justice Jefferson for those good words, and again for his years of service. Now, if you would join us, I think, in the lobby for some refreshment and fellowship as we conclude this afternoon. Thanks, Rhonda, so much for coming. Thank you.
I will.